Every generation likes to have a debate over who's better when it comes to certain categories or areas of expertise, if you will. For example, in the 80s, who was better, Iron Maiden or Judas Priest? In the 90s, who was better, Nintendo or Sega? But on the N64, there was a debate that raged on that people would take up arms and go into the streets and cause mass violence because they were just so gung-ho about it. Mario Kart 64 or Diddy Kong Racing? Which was a better game? Now, I fell into the camp of Diddy Kong Racing because it's a much better game. It's a lot more fun, and when you play multiplayer, the music doesn't cut out for some reason. I always thought that was weird. But not to take anything away from Mario Kart 64, to be honest, I don't really have that many good memories of my mom, but Mario Kart 64 did contribute to some of the good memories, so I can't really hate on it too much. Recently, though, I was fooling around with a Gameshark. My friend and I were trying to get some codes to work for some games, and we stumbled across a moon jump, or like a flying code, for Mario Kart 64. So that gave me an idea for a video. Why don't I try to beat Mario Kart 64 by flying?
Yo, it's L.
So just to clarify, the moon jump code does allow me to fly through the air, but I'm not really flying as I cannot control my direction while I'm in the air. So whatever direction I'm in when I jump, that's it. That's the direction I'm going in. And I will be playing on 150cc. That's the speed measurement that NASCAR uses. That's like the highest speed, the hardest difficulty. And I'm not really that good at the game, to be honest. I didn't play a whole lot of this game, so I can't really rely on my skills. Even though I'm cheating, this is still a race, so any mistakes will cost me. But you know what? It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna see what happens. And just like any situation in life, the best I can do is rely on my good looks and my personality, as well as my solid snake-like cunning to get me out of it. So the first cup is the Mushroom Cup, and I'm going to play at the fastest speed, 150cc. Luigi Raceways first, and I'm actually going to try and not get the speed boost at the beginning. What I want to do is jump this wall and try to land in the tunnel. As you can see, it's not loaded up at first, so I don't really know where I'm landing, and it's really easy to overshoot the jump. Here I can just jump over this wall, and that's my first lap. I try making the jump again, and again I miss the tunnel. I do catch up with the other racers, then I just fly over the wall again. There we go, lap 2. This time I thought I was gonna land, but obviously I didn't. So you can imagine how much faster this level would have been if I made all the jumps into the tunnel without going out of bounds. So I complete the whole race in less than a minute. Some people say it's not a real world record, and I would agree. Next up is Moo Moo Farm. In this level, I'm not quite sure where the best spot to jump is. I do need speed, and I don't want to overdo it. Well, you might think it's as simple as just flying over. The truth is, if I see my placement drop down to 8th place, that means I screwed up and I didn't trigger the right loading zone. All that means is the game thinks that I'm further back than I actually am, so even if I go ahead of the racers, the game will still think I'm behind. So far it seems to be working, and I do need some speed in order to do this. If I do it too slow, it might take way too much time and I just end up in last anyways. Luckily for me, it seems to be working, and I drop down because I don't want to go up too high, and the game thinks that I'm out of bounds and it puts me back at the beginning. And there we go, record time for Moo Moo Farm. At least for me, I always hated this level. The enemy racers also did really good time-wise as well. Alright, time for Koopa Troopa Beach. So as I'm coming around the corner, I'm just trying to think of places I might be able to jump. So I'm looking at my map, and I think I might just jump over this part. There is a tunnel a little bit further ahead, so I think this is a good spot to go ahead without hitting the wrong loading zone or flags, or however this game works. I come up around the bend and I'm still not that far ahead. Even trying to do this, I don't really gain too much time. So I go for this jump again, and luckily I make it. Again, since a lot of the stuff isn't loaded in, I can't really see where I'm going. I'm on the final lap, but the enemies are still not that far behind me. They could still reasonably catch up to me. I will admit, I didn't take too many chances this level, and I pretty much just flew over a part, which you could just drive through normally if you make the right jump. I still don't remember the last time I beat this level in a minute and a half. Kalamari Desert. Deserts, which are known for their vastness of calamari and other fish, is a great place to race in. So the train's coming, but I try to jump over it, and for some reason it still has hit collision way above where it actually is. The whole thing's like a flying wall of hit collision. Luckily I had this mushroom and it helped me boost across the map. And as you can see, I went from 8th to 1st. If I land in the wrong area, I would remain in 8th place. So I do have to be careful where I land. Coming up the bend, it looks like I just missed a train. So I drive out here a little bit just so I can straighten my jump out. I don't want to hit any of these walls. Luckily that one doesn't have hit collision. So I go from 8th to 1st, and when I know I'm in 1st, I know it's a good spot to drop down. Before we get to the train part, I look at my map, and I am pretty ahead of everyone. This time I go around the train, I fly above the wall, and I guess I clip the top of the train, hitting the invisible hitbox. I'm worried as now I'm in 5th, 7th, and back in 1st. But for those few seconds there, I was really worried. Though it's not a world record, it is my personal best. 1:41. And you know what? The times for the other racers are pretty good. So the whole Mushroom Kingdom gets together and throws a party for me. Do I deserve it? No. But then again, neither does anybody else. And much like anything I ever achieved in life, I had to use Gameshark codes in order to do it. And this will be my first cup in what will be a series of stolen races. I hold the championship, therefore I'm the best. I placed 1st, and I didn't need to take steroids to do it. So let's roll out into cup number 2, the Flower Cup. Toad's Turnpike. You might remember this level as the one where you just crash into cars all the time. Based off the map, I might be able to jump at this figure 8 and land in the next area. I took a bit of a gamble, but luckily Lakitu placed me back on the track. So while I am in 1st, and yes I did cheat, if you pay attention, I'm not really that far ahead of the other racers. And in this game, the rubber banding is pretty bad. In fact, this game is pretty infamous for its rubber banding. Like, look at this, they're just around the corner, they're not that far behind me. If I get hit by a car like this, they can reasonably catch up. Which they're sort of doing. It's just funny because I'm not really that good at this game, and the only reason I'm really winning at this speed at 150cc is because I'm cheating. But even then, if I screw up, I don't have the talent to just make up for that and win. I took another chance and just flew across the map. If I land out of bounds, this might backfire. Where am I gonna land? I land ahead of where I jumped, so whatever. I'm still in the lead. And going back to the rubber banding thing, if you're wondering why the enemies also have really good times, in fact world record times, is because the rubber banding. So if I cheat, I guess they're cheating too. So you know what? I don't feel bad about cheating at this point. This is my revenge for all the times I got screwed over in Mario Kart. Frap Snowland is next, and I feel like this level was made by people who like to get their girlfriend to snowball them. So I didn't take much of a chance on that last jump, but I don't want to try to get too ahead of myself. Like here, I sort of screwed up and went past the finish line, placing me in 8th, and now I wasn't too sure what I should do. So I decided to do what I'm already doing and just keep cheating. There's a blue shell, I just hope it doesn't come back and hit me. I'm hoping what got me into this mess will also get me out. It's a very bad mentality to have going into anything, but in this case it actually worked. We're in the second lap, and I'm in 1st again. So I just gotta be careful not to screw up again. I fly out to this little ice valley here, and I remember this being much bigger when I was a kid. Or maybe it was just another version of this level in another Mario Kart game. So I do get hit by the blue shell, and all I can say is, fuck that blue shell. It shouldn't hit you if you're the one who shot it. It's a fucking game, man. You know what? I'm glad that I cheated. Because that's all this game ever did to me when I played against it. We're at Choco Mountain, and I wonder if it's named after chocobos or chocolate. Clearly chocolate, and clearly I'm dumb. You can tell because I'm not sure where to go, and I just sort of jump up here, and you know what? It actually worked. I just skipped the whole level pretty much. So like most of my success in life, it just happens by just dumb luck. Now I know I can fly up here, and the invisible wall sort of stops me from dropping down further. And it looks like the person in second is about to lap me. Or wait, did I lap her? I don't know, it's a bit confusing. So I screwed up, which is inevitable. But you know what? Luckily for me, I have watched a lot of videos on people speedrunning this game as well as speedrunning other games. Shout out to Summoning Salt. So I know I can just jump up here. And you know what? That helped a lot. So nobody can beat me because I can cheat. And I have the brains to know how to cheat. So yeah, figure that out. Since I can't count, I don't know if this is the last level or not, but here we are, Mario Raceway. So I'm just gonna go big. I'm just gonna jump across and just see what happens. As long as I maintain my height and I don't go out of bounds vertically, I'm good. So it seemed to work. I mean, I flew across the map and turned out to be alright. I do want to try to land to the right more, but as you can see, this jump went pretty much as well as the first, which went well, but I was hoping to land on the other side of the pipe. I'll try it on my next jump. So I go out further so I can turn more, and I'm worried because if I land too close to the finish line, it won't count, but I'm in first, I'm way ahead of everybody else, and I think I might win. Yeah, that was less than a minute. That was really cool, man. I'm glad I did that. That was fun. I don't know if that was the last level or not. Okay, it was. So a lot has changed since I won the last cup. I went from feeling bad about cheating to realizing the only way people can beat me is if they cheat. I'm number one. So that's 2 cups down and 2 left to go. Now that I'm halfway through, I will say, not really experiencing the issues I thought I would have. Seeing how most racing games have some sort of internal check system to ensure that players have gone around the course, I thought I would, by moon jumping, skip a lot of those, which would result in me crossing the finish line and the game being like, no, that didn't really count. Sorry. So that didn't happen. My other biggest worry was when I go out of bounds, I may hit some invisible hitbox, some invisible wall, something where the game's gonna say, well, you technically hit an out of bound area, and then Lakitu puts me back at the beginning. Because then it's like, oh, I'm just back where I started. The entire race had still gone on. So now I'm really far behind. And it's like, I may not win this lap, which would suck, but that would also be pretty hilarious, wouldn't it? Next up, we got the Star Cup, which is made for stars like me. Wario Stadium is first, and I'm pretty sure I can break this level pretty easily. So I start in last place, which I'm pretty much used to at this point in life. So I took a few shortcuts, and I'm a bit confused as to where I am in the level. I remember this big jump, so I know that I'm close, and I can see the finish line on my left. Jump over the wall, reposition myself, and not the best, but you know what, I'm still ahead. But I think I can do better this time. I do bump into a wall, but I get over the next one easier than I did the first time. Okay, so that was 12 seconds. I want to see if I can do it even faster this time. Come on. Either way, I made record time in this level. Yeah, a minute. You can imagine how much faster it would be if I didn't screw up. Sherbet Land, which I think is named after a type of ice cream. So I just go for a big jump. I drop down to 6 and then first I make it across, come back this way. I want to try to go for a little jump here. So I wonder how big of a jump I can take. Like how far ahead of the level I could skip without it screwing up. Well, that only took 13 seconds. I want to try to beat that. So at this point, I don't really even care about the other racers. Well, that didn't count, so I screwed up. Yeah, this is what I mean by I have to be really careful where I land, because otherwise I cross the finish line like you see, and it doesn't count. I'm hoping this time it does, because if I keep screwing up, I won't actually win. Alright, here we are, Royal Raceway. So I'm going to try to jump and land on the huge ramp right in front of me. Yeah, see, I was turning too much on that. I tried to make the best of it, but I fell in the water. Where's Lakitu gonna put me? Oh, here. This is actually really convenient for me. At this point, I just gotta finish the lap. I do end up screwing around a little bit, and I don't even know why. I mean, at this point, the other racers are just gonna catch up to me. So being able to fly, it is a good cheat, it is a good advantage, but by the same time, if I screw up, it does cost me. Here I try to land on the road, just so I don't have to turn around and adjust myself. And man, I usually play Mario Kart 8, so it's like really weird for me to go back and play the N64 version. Okay, third time's a charm, they say. So I still missed it because I'm dumb. So after 4 attempts, I'm just never gonna land on that. At this point, I should just be happy that I'm ahead, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to catch up to me anytime soon. I spin out for absolutely no reason and fall in the water, because this is what happens when you're ahead in Mario Kart. Despite the game holding me back, just like everything's done my whole life, I still end up in first. Then I remind myself, this is a child's game, and I'm not really achieving anything, am I? Lastly, we got Bowser's Castle. So looking at the map, I think what I'm going to do on the straightaway is just fly up. So as long as the ceiling doesn't have collision, well, a thwomp hit me, so that sort of threw me off. Let's see if this works. Okay, I'm going in reverse, but it did work. But you know what? That didn't really help. I'm still in third. Well, now I'm in fourth. And then I spun out, and I fell in lava. Notice how all the worst things happened to me later in the cup? It's like, yeah, the first couple races, all the mistakes were on me. But I mean, look at this. I'm cheating, and I'm still not winning. I go for a huge gamble and jump over this wall. So I went from 7th to 1st. I'm in the lead. I have some mushrooms. All I have to do now is just maintain this. So that jump worked, even though I dropped down to 3rd temporarily. And that's what I mean. Where I jumped from, the game thought I was still there, so that's why it says I'm in 3rd. So it is sloppy, but the jump gets me ahead. I do have to turn around. Toad just took that banana for me, which allowed me to turn around and get this jump. There we go. In less than 2 minutes. I was hoping that was on the finish line, but... well, I did it. 1:45, and there we are. And that makes me the most decorated champion in Mario Kart history. And then we have everybody's favorite cup, the Special Cup. Only because it has Rainbow Road. DK's Jungle Parkway. When I was a kid, I always wondered if the characters in this game ever got a boost from being in the levels that have their names in it. So I fly across, and off the bat, I'm already winning pretty hard. That's lap 1, pretty easy. I jump over, and I'm worried the boat might hit me, but I'm okay. So coming up here on the bridge, I screwed up, then I spun out, then I got hit by a bomb, and then Wario sent me flying over the edge. This is what I mean by, like, when you're winning in Mario Kart, the game is going to try to destroy your life. It's like that stuff doesn't happen normally. This game is like the Dark Souls of racing games. So, not really, but I jump across here. And I have some trepidation in crossing the bridge again. Yoshi took that banana for me, and I'm worried Bowser's gonna drop a bomb or hit me with a shell. And luckily, Bowser did nothing to me for the rest of the race. There we go. Yoshi Valley is next, and I have an idea based off the speedrunning videos I've seen. I should be able to jump across here and jump back, but I do have to be careful where I land. So I'm hopeful and doubtful that this may work. So that did not work. Unsure what to do, I just try to do it again. This time I drive a bit further in, then I sort of get stuck against this wall. So I try to land down here, hoping that that works. So it looks like the other racers are pretty much just right behind me. Well, a few of them just passed me. So I know this will work, and it was a bit sloppy last time. But if I can get it right this time, the race will be mine. When you're off course, I'm pretty sure it slows you down too. I noticed it says reverse, but the first time I did that, it didn't say reverse. So I think as long as I land and I see that, then I know I'm okay to jump back. So 1.5 minutes, and that's Yoshi's Valley. Alright, Banshee Boardwalk. So I can see on the map, it looks like there's a little bit of a straightaway, and I might be able to fly off to the left. I'll go from 7 to 1, and I know that I'm safe to land. Took me a little bit to get repositioned, but I get out of here and I fly across to the finish line. There we go, 20 seconds, lap number 1. And I want to see if I can beat that time with the second lap. As long as I can land on the boardwalk without going over. I want to see how fast of a time I can get with laps 3. Alright, 14 seconds, not too bad. I've seen better. Now we're on to everybody's favorite level apparently, Rainbow Road. So if I jump from over here, I should be good, as long as I don't overjump, or underjump. So I turn around, facing where I have to land. This part I have to be careful not to fly above the track or below it. If I'm too far above, I might not land, and if I'm below it, well, I'm just going to miss the jump entirely. Here I was worried I wasn't going to land, but I did. And remember what I said about potentially missing the track? I was close that time. So I go for the big jump again. And I overjumped. And I'm not sure where Lakitu is going to put me. Back at the start. Luckily I'm in first, so it doesn't affect me too much. So here we go, going for the big jump. And honestly, I think that was just luck. I almost missed it again. Took me 1.5 minutes to complete Rainbow Road. There we go, all 4 cups completed. Did I cheat? Yeah. And honestly, it was a lot of fun. So they reward me with the championship, and then the staff credits play. And you know what? I sort of missed this era in video gaming, where they didn't have fully rendered cutscenes and all this. Back when cutscenes were just scenes from levels from the game, and some assets would be moved around, missing, or changed. Also, while I'm looking through these names, I wonder how similar their workplace was to pretty much every workplace I've ever worked, where a lot of the people are just lazy and don't do anything, and the majority of the work falls onto a select few. Like this guy. I wonder how much money he got paid versus how much work he actually did. Because of all the places I worked, I can say that most people are just lazy and dumb. So the fact that these people can put a game together, release it, is just pretty mind-blowing. But my personal struggle working office jobs aside, This was actually pretty fun. And congrats to all the people who worked on this. I'm sure you all worked real hard. So now that I slayed the dragon that is Mario Kart 64, you may be wondering, what do you get? What's the prize? What do you unlock for beating Mario Kart 64? Mirror mode. Mirror mode. It's not exciting to say. I can't say it in an exciting, fun way because it's not. It's like, oh, mirror mode, that's it. This is a racing game. Would it have been too much to ask for an additional cup? Maybe. But like an extra character, even like a Mario costume, like Metal Mario maybe? I don't know. But it's like, I just feel like you get nothing for beating this game. Diddy Kong Racing, however, you can unlock a cock and a clock. Just for fun, I want to play mirror mode. It's pretty much the same game, only the levels are in reverse. We'll do the Mushroom Cup, and off the bat, if you look at the map, you can tell it's inverted. And this time, when I jumped, I actually landed in the tunnel. That last jump, though, didn't go that well, so I have to reposition myself and try it again. I'm not going to go through the whole game again in mirror mode, but I did want to play this cup one more time just to see if it felt different at all. Like, I know it's the same game and everything, but after doing it one way, I'm curious how it feels inverted. I remember back in the day, when mirror mode was a thing that not every game had, people used to complain. They wanted mirror mode in every game back in the day. So much so that Nintendo Power had a guide on how to make your own mirror mode. All you would do is basically put a mirror in front of your TV, and then you would turn your seat around and just look at the mirror. The people at Nintendo Power deserve to get a raise. So here we are, Moo Moo Farm, and instead of driving to the right the whole time, you just drive to the left. It'd be like watching a NASCAR race, and when it was done, the drivers just turned their vehicles around and just drove the other way. You know what? I've never seen NASCAR, but I do have a few ideas of how to make it a bit better. The first would be jumps. It'd be really cool to see NASCAR drivers just full out, just go flying off jumps. Another thing would be items. People love them in Mario Kart. Imagine NASCAR drivers throwing turtle shells at each other, or throwing bananas onto the road. Would it help them? Probably not. But would it be entertaining? Absolutely. More so than this video. So I fly across Moo Moo Farm, and mirror mode doesn't really add anything exciting or different to the game. But when I got to Koopa Troopa Beach, I wanted to take more of a chance with my jumping. I already unlocked mirror mode, and you don't get anything else for beating the game on mirror mode. So I figure I might as well take a few chances with my jumps. As you can tell for Koopa Troopa Beach, this didn't really work out that well for me. Luckily I got lightning, and then I sort of fell into third. I'm not in last, and we just started the second lap. So I have a pretty good chance of winning, I think. So I fly across the map and I catch up to first place, and then they sort of passed me by. I got lightning again, and what's that line about catching lightning in a bottle? Because I just got lightning twice from the same spot. I spin out into the final lap, and I notice the other racers aren't too far behind me. I dropped my banana and I go for this jump. I landed, and again, if you look at my map, I'm not really that far ahead. I just have to not hit the crabs and I'm okay. And there we go, there's race number 3. Kalamari Desert is next, and also last. So I'm sure there's probably a better strategy than what I've been doing, not only at this level, but pretty much all the other levels I've been flying around in. But it is fun to see how I could break the levels and still win. Like there, I crashed into the wall and I'm in last, so cheating didn't really help me there, did it? It definitely helped me here in getting across and getting back to first. And while it would be fun to try to fly around a few of the levels trying to see things, there's not really a whole lot to see, and if you're flying to a place that hasn't been loaded in, it's just going to be invisible. Plus, with no collision in a bunch of the places you're not supposed to be, it's not like I can just land anywhere I want. I enter the final lap and I reflect back on everything. The only thing that would make this more interesting was if I could play this with a second or even a third and fourth player, where we all have the ability to fly. They say history is written by the winners, and since I'm the winner, I'm going to write my own history. See, I overcame everything there is to overcome in life to get to this spot, to be the champion in Mario Kart 64. And all my peers considered me to be the best of my generation. Going back to something I said earlier, I am curious what maps actually had areas I could fly to. But after playing them and looking through the list, there's not really anywhere you can drive outside of the areas the game lets you. Most levels have nowhere for you to land outside of the racetrack, and there aren't any areas you can explore. Even Princess Peach's castle. I tried to land on the roof, but as you expected, there was nothing here. Even going in from different angles, there's no hidden Easter egg to find. I tried landing on this boat, and I just can't. I can't even land on this little island. Any place you aren't meant to reach pretty much has no collision or lakitu gets you. So if you know of any game that has stupid and or fun Gameshark codes, let me know. I'm open to suggestions, would love to hear them, would love to cover a few of those games too. But I want to reflect on today. I think moon jumping in Mario Kart, it's been a life-changing experience for all of us. And I think that we grew as people, together. We watched Mario fly through the air, like he does in most games he's in. Only this time it was weird. I don't know. But I will say Mario Kart 64 is probably the worst racing game on the Nintendo 64. I mean, Cruis'n USA, well that's way better. Wave Race 64, I'd rather play that than Mario Kart 64. And the king of racing games on the N64, Diddy Kong Racing. Would play that over any of these games any day of the week. But regardless of console, my favorite racing game, Need for Speed Underground 2. This is my favorite racing game. I love it. I'd kiss it, but I don't want to affect the rating of this video, so I'll put it away for now.
Peggy 18.
Thanks for watching. Mario Kart 64 is available on the Switch Online, but that's no reason to play it.